Hey, just kind of watched the video. If you know, you know, be in your comment section. And the concept about losing your faith, the concept of maybe that you were never saved, right? Combination of so many things, of the line of being dependent on God, being dependent on not just your loved ones, but especially on your desires, the dependency of what it means to know yourself, what it means to be happy. Being a content creator is hard, and being a faith-based one is even harder because you're exposing who you are at your core every day. Something that you put out is a reflection of what you define yourself. That is not easy to do. So I will not convince you to continue of producing any form of content that you want to keep private. After all, an example of prayer, it says in scripture that you should do it privately. You should be fasting privately. If your form of worship, if your relationship with Christ, you hold dear for it to be private, why would you think that's heresy? Why would that be deemed blasphemous? There's billions of people who are potentially saved. Do we all need to love God and worship Him the same? So don't condemn yourself because you are spiritually aligned with God differently. But your question probably is, you don't even feel spiritual. And so something that you probably have been asking yourself is, have you been using God as a crutch? And if your answer is yes, that's fine, because I did too. When I was growing up, right, I very much struggled with the concept of believing in God. I was afraid of hell. I didn't believe in Him. I was gonna go to hell because I was raised in a Christian household. And one of the very first things my dad told me, who I love to death, is the perfect father I could ever have. One of the very first things he was trying to tell me, I don't believe in God. I will go to hell. But then when I lost my sister, I hated him. My sister was the most confident and also the most innocent person I have ever been able to interact with. She was so bold, she was so pure, and especially young. And yet she was also my role model. I saw God in her, and yet I didn't know if she believed. When I asked Dad, is she saved? Will I see her in heaven? He couldn't give me an answer. That was in that moment I didn't accept God anymore. I actually thought God is real, just conceptually believing, right? When you really believe in science, when you really believe in the probabilities of how everything is to be, the concept of God just makes sense. It just feels right. Imagine if the Big Bang really did happen. The anomaly of us being here is less than 1%. It has to be a creator. But if my sister isn't in heaven, then why should I be? Why would an all-loving, powerful God allow my sister to go to hell? So I hated him and I rejected him. And then I was experiencing life, right? I started to live an example that my sister made for me, especially when my family nearly fell apart of her death. I tried to squeeze it together through me becoming like her. I lost a lot in that process. I felt like I lost my innocence. In ways, I lost my work ethic. I lost my dignity. But I also grew confidence. I became prideful. I became strong. Being worldly is also a reflection of who we are. I'll never encourage sin. But these are the groans of what it means to understand life. There's never something in scripture that says you won't be able to work for something. Even for the likes of God's love, His grace is a gift. But you accept the gift by carrying your cross. The apostles that carried the cross. What happened to Jesus that carried the cross? Christ is gain through death. If you're not willing to die for Christ, then don't believe in Him at all. And that doesn't just go for you, that goes for everybody. It says, deny yourself and you shall follow me. It says in scripture, if you love your mother, if you love your son over me, you're not worthy of me. Is that metaphorically? Or is he being very literal? God is the creator of everything to be your number one. You can't lose your salvation. If you don't have it, you never did. Because it's a one-way street. He's the greatest of all things. He didn't halfway die for you. He died for you all the way. When you understand the heaviness of that, the graininess of that, and what it costs to roller coaster for you, because you deny everything that you once stand for when you start following Christ. So how did I get to that point? I started to lose the things that I cared about, but in ways that didn't felt directed towards him or me, but in the ways of being afraid of everything. The power that I had, I refused to take any action. I was trying to do electrical engineering. I was trying to balance my way of that. My ego allowed me to fail that class because I refused to accept help. But then when I took the class again and passed, I hated it anyway. Nothing didn't change. So I decided to not continue in electrical engineering. But then I didn't find it a passion either. I didn't pivot to anything. I was very much a player in high school, constantly following girls that was intrigued by me, but was also playing in their face saying I never liked them in the first place, which I did. There's a lot of things that I did that doesn't reflect my character, but my dependency of needing joy, or maybe the dependency of feeling needed, was something that I yearned for. And that left me alone. My constant worry of hurting other people, knowing that I'm hurting myself by not yearning for other people, is what left me with nothing. And I think something that everyone struggles with, but especially me, and probably you too, is our very little lack of self-esteem. We hate ourselves to the core. Dare I say, some of us, if not a lot of us, wish we were dead. I never thought about killing myself. But you don't know how many times I just think about a car just hitting me, just so my life of others would be better. I felt like I was a loser. I felt like I made people's lives so much worse than I can ever imagine. Just a pain in others. The validation that I got. I had a loving mother. I had a loving father. I got everything that I wanted. And yet I always felt incompetent. I always felt so slow. I always felt so selfish. Why are these such strong core emotions that wasn't influenced by anything other than myself? And especially in elementary school. But that didn't really matter to me. They weren't the reason why I wanted to go through such suffering. That I felt like I wasn't worthy of people's love. So why do we have such hate for ourselves? I can't answer that. But something I'll definitely contribute to it is the sin of spiritual actions. You can contribute this to so many things. You can contribute it to just simply your fathers and mothers struggling with the same thing, right? Especially since sin can go down to past generations. How could you say that yours is not the same thing? Some other things is how we choose our words, right? Our words have power and manifest of who we are. Of course, that will shape our character. The music that we listen to, the games that we play, the things that we commit towards. If we're constantly sacrificing ourselves to gain something that is materialistic, then that already reflects our value. We don't think we're worthy to live. And then especially is how Adam and Eve fell. The most very important thing of why Eve ate of that apple, because she felt like she wasn't wise. But God never once said she wasn't wise. In fact, God deemed Eve to be a helper of Adam. And a helper of Adam is a reflection of Jesus being a helper of us. They had dominion over the earth, the first to be commanded to control over everything, to name over everything. In fact, out of everything that God had created, we were the first and so far the only thing that God breathed life to. And yet we doubted even that. It's innate of us to hate ourselves if we in fact don't love God. And I didn't even properly understand that. This is basically a testimony of mine. But what helped me understand my faith was understanding myself and properly loving myself. So ultimately, what I think can help you out, sorry if this is long-winded, why do you believe? What are certain things? It requires anger. It requires a lot of things. But the reason why you do it is what defines you. And how you go about it is how God can reform you. God has love for everyone, but he also has justice, and his justice is a form of correction, which will become your transformation. And there will be angels beside you. It's not just God here, right? Brothers and sisters as well who will be praying for you. So question him, challenge him, go in your own pace, but never fall back. Go forward in remembrance of your past, because it has already shaped your future. I hope this helped. Just anybody who is watching, but especially you, my friend. And I enjoy your content very much.